All right, for today, we're going to be looking at angles or degrees. The thing is that degrees, so far, we have seen it as a whole number. However, a degree can be broken down either what we called uh, decimals. In our notes today, I have some degrees broken down as a decimal. However, people that, captains of boats or people in airplanes, pilots, they don't look at degrees as decimal. They use what we called minutes and seconds. So their part is some degrees with some minutes with some seconds. So that the degrees can either be seen as a decimal or broken down into minutes and seconds. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to change it. If it's in decimals, we're going to change it to minutes and seconds. If it is in degrees with minutes and seconds, we're going to change it to decimals. So what I did on the notes, our odd numbers are in decimals. So we're going to change those to degrees, minutes, and seconds. Our even numbers are broken down as degrees, minutes, seconds, and we're going to change those to decimals. All right, that mumbo jumbo, let's take a look. What we're going to do, the decimal part, 38.4, that the one before the decimal, that just tells us is going to be 38 degrees. That number before the decimal. What we need to worry about is the decimal part. So let me grab a calculator in this case. And I'm going to go my decimal part, which is 0.4. I'm going to multiply this by 60. And then the reason why I'm multiplying by 60, because remember I call it minutes and seconds. You got to ask yourself, how many minutes, how many seconds are there? Which there's, 60 minutes in an hour, 60 seconds in a minute. So my decimal part, I'm going to multiply this by 60. So that gives me 24. Now my number came out as a whole number. So that's it. I have, it didn't come to me as a decimal. So I have 0 seconds. If I would have gotten my result as a decimal still, I would have gotten some seconds. All right, let's take a look at question number 3. Let me do the odd questions first. I'm going from degrees to minutes and seconds. All right, so question number 3, we're just going to say that I'm going to have 301 degrees. Now, let's take a look at the decimal part. 0.735 times 60. Notice how this one, I did get it as a decimal. I got this as 44.1. So what that means is that I have 44 minutes. Now, let me take that 44. I'm just looking at the decimal part, 0.1. Let me multiply this by 60. And I get 6 seconds. Notice each time I was multiplying by 60. And I was just looking at the decimal part. Looking at question number 5, I'm just going to go, I get 190 degrees. Right? That's the number before the decimal. So in my mind right now, well, actually in my calculator, let me go 0.455. I'm just looking at the decimal part. I'm going to multiply this by 60. I get 27.3. From 27.3, I get 27 minutes. I just care about the whole number. So now let me take away the whole number, minus 27, because I'm taking the whole number out. I just have a decimal. Now let me multiply this. So multiplied by 60, I get 18 seconds. Had to continue, you start with degrees. Then if you have a decimal part, the decimal part you multiply by 60 to get the minutes part. And if you have a decimal, the decimal part you multiply by 60 again to get the seconds. So I get this as 18 seconds. Now, our question might be, how am I even going to type this? I don't know how to type the degree symbol. All right, so let me go in blue. How are we going to type this? The way I'm going to have you guys type it, because we don't have the degree symbol, I'm just going to go 38 space 24 space 0. So that means 38 degrees, 24 minutes, 0 seconds. How am I going to type question number 3? 301 dash 44 dash 6. So 301 degrees, 44 minutes, 6 seconds. And obviously question number 5, you guys are going to type it as 190 dash 27 dash 18. 190 degrees, 27 minutes, 18 seconds. How to write it, it's in red. How to type it, it's in blue. All right, so what about the other case? What if I'm given the questions in minutes and seconds, but I actually want the decimal part in this case? All right, in this case, I'm going to start. Let me move my calculator to this side. I'm going to start with the seconds, the smallest measurement. The smallest measurement is seconds. So, all right, I'm going to go, in this case, I'm going to divide by 60. So I'm going to go 21 divided by 60.35. Okay, so I got, this is a decimal. Notice I just did the minutes, the seconds. 21 divided by 60. It gave me a decimal. Now I'm going to add it, that decimal part, I'm going to add it to 22, which is the minutes. And I'm going to divide by 60. So it gives me a decimal. Now this decimal, let me add it to 138. And I'm going to say my decimal part in this case is going to be 138.3725. Notice I'm not rounding up to any decimal number. I'm putting all my decimals in there. 138.3725. Okay, not too bad. How do we do number 4? Starting from the seconds, I'm going to go 54 divided by 60. So that gave me a decimal. I'm going to add it to 45 divided by 60. That gives me a decimal. I added to 272. So it gives me 272.765. So I'm going to get 272.765. Once again, I'm not running up to any decimal number. Let's take a look at my last example. I'm just going to go 21 over 60. So that gives me a decimal part. Plus 1, which is the minutes, over 60. So that converts that to a decimal. Plus 93. So my answer should be 93.0225. 93.0225. All right, so for our notes, I separated. My odd questions were given in decimals, and I need to convert it into degrees, minutes, seconds. My even questions were given in degrees, minutes, seconds, and I converted to a decimal. Now your homework is going to be mixed, but this is how it goes.